Well, greetings again, guys. How's that heat taking care of you there? You guys still enjoying this 90 plus, 100 plus, 110 plus weather? Yeah. Fortunately, we still have a grid. And fortunately, most of us have electricity in our homes that we can run an air conditioner with. Well, what happens when the grid goes down where you have no way to keep yourself cool? Heat injuries are real, guys, okay? If you want to watch a real good video on it, go watch Bush Doctor Survival's video of about a week ago talking about heat injuries. I've talked about them before as well. But let's come up with a solution, because that's what preppers do. All right, so what I have sitting here next to me, as I knock my microphone off, is a new product from EcoFlow that I got from Elliot at Wellbots, and it is called the EcoFlow Wave. What this is a portable air conditioner. Now, it is not a window unit or anything like that. This is truly a portable air conditioner. They market it as something you could take camping with you and hook it up to a tent or something like that. There's videos online of people putting it in their car or a van or something and keeping it cool. No doubt whatsoever, those are good ideas for it. What I'm looking at this as is a prepper tool. Now, we all have or should at least, some sort of backup off-grid heat source, besides a campfire, that we are working with. Well, that covers half the year. What do you have when it's 110 degrees outside and you're hot? So we go into this. Now, pros and cons to it. A lot of things I like, a couple of them that I'm not overly thrilled with, but I want to give you all the details. So, first off, you look at here in front. This has got a good large condenser on here. It's about 9 inches by 9 inches. It's a 4,000 BTU unit. All right, so I got this yesterday and played around with it. Cool off a room. This is not going to cool off your entire house, okay? This is not going to replace your AC unit. But in an SHTF situation, we all know what we're going to do is consolidate ourselves into one room. Like where I have my heat source, okay? That'll heat up that room. My heat source will probably heat up the first floor of my house. This will do a good job of heating up a room. So say cooling off a room. So say your bedroom or something. That's what you'd want to look at. Someplace where you can close off the room and have that as your cooling zone. So when you're too hot, you can go in there and do that. Advantages to this thing are runtime and cooling ability. It's got a thermostat, it's got a timer, so it works quite well on that. Right now, for demonstration purposes here, I've got it hooked up to my Delta Pro. It is not hooked up to my AC or my electricity in the house. It's hooked up to my Delta Pro, and there's a reason for that. The unit can be charged, or let's put it this way, unit can be run off of any solar generator, okay? It can be run off of any regular generator. It can be run off of AC power out of your house. It's got your typical three-prong plug to it that you can plug into whatever you need be. So it's not like you have to have everything is proprietary. You don't have to have an EcoFlow generator, or if you've got a Jackery or if you've got a Blue Eddy or whatever it is, it'll work fine. Okay, that's a definite pro. The timing on how this runs is different. It does not, I want to repeat here, does not have an internal battery. There is an external battery that literally it's like a stand that you can put it on, okay? That, again, you could charge that battery through the car, through solar, through whatever. The problem I find with that external battery, and the reason that I'm not a fan of it, is the external battery for this is $899, okay? Why would I spend $900 on a battery specifically to run this, where I can spend the same amount of money to buy a EcoFlow Delta 1300, which I can run my refrigerator, my freezer, I can run anything else off of, plus I could run this off of, and that external battery gives you the same runtime for this air conditioner as the 1300 would do. So, yes, I like the air conditioner. No, I would not buy the external battery for it. I just think it's overpriced for what you're getting. Now, how long does this thing run? If you ran it full blast, okay, running the AC portion, running the compressor all the time, you would get 3 hours off of the external battery. You would get 3 hours off of a Delta 1300. Now, I'm betting you're not going to try to keep your house cool to 50 degrees, so this isn't the low end of this thing, so I'm guessing that it's not going to be running that way. You'd be running the fan at other times. But for testing purposes, if you ran the condenser nonstop, the Wave battery pack or the 1300 will run it for 3 hours. The Delta Max 1600 would run it for 5 hours. The Delta Max 2000 would run it for 6 hours, and a Delta Pro would run it for 12 hours. All right. You could run it off a Delta Mini for 2. You could run it off of the River, which is the real little one, for 1.7 hours. You know, I can't tell you what's going to run a Jackery or a Blue Eddy or anything like that, but you can kind of figure by the wattage what's similar is how long it's going to run. You got a 2000 watt Blue Eddy, I'm betting it's going to run it for 6 hours, just like the 2000 watt Delta Max. That being said, okay. Now, nice things about how this works. The way it is set up right here, and this is, to give you an idea, it's a little bit bigger than the 1300. It weighs about 35 pounds. Got handles on it, so it's easy to move around. Okay, no wheels, but I mean, anybody with moderate strength can carry this around, not a big deal. You can put it anywhere. I can run it just like it is in the house. The cold air comes out the front. The hot air comes out the back. Okay. Now, it's directional air, obviously, so you're blowing it toward where you want to be. It's going to exhaust warm air in the back. That's kind of how an AC works. If you want, okay, and this is how they talk about doing it for like a tent or an RV or something, it comes with an adapter on the back and the appropriate hoses, where if you wanted to permanently mount this, you could. You'd have to create your own panel for a window or something like that to vent the hot air outside and just keep the cold air inside. Okay. You could also do it the other way around. Well, I mean, that's for a house. For a tent, you could put the unit outside, put a pipe on the front, and blow all the cold air in, which I don't see as a great idea because this thing's not waterproof. So I'd want to keep this undercover. So I'd want to keep this inside a tent or some sort of structure and have the pipes out of the back blowing the hot air out. Okay, but not necessary. As is, using in the house, I can use it just like this. The next question you're going to get on AC units all the time is condensation. The way this is designed is the condensation for this goes right into the exhaust and evaporates the exhaust so you don't have a puddle. There is a drain hose, and they suggest hooking up the drain hose if you're in an area that has over 70% humidity. Under 70% humidity, you shouldn't get any water. Over, you're going to get a little bit of drainage, so hook it up that way. All right. So, definitely a good thing. I'll show you how this thing works. Like I said, I have it hooked up to my Delta Pro right here. Very, very simple. There are 4 buttons along the top here. You can't see them, but if I turn on the power button. All right, so as you can see here, I've got the dial where I can set my temperature. It will tell you what the current room temperature is, what you're set at. How this thing works is pretty simple. It will cool off the room all the way down. Let's say it's 86 degrees in the house or in the room, and you want to get it down to 75. It will run max until the thermostat figures it's down 75, and then it will fluctuate between fan and compressor to maintain the 75 degrees. You can set it up on a timer as well. So let's say you're going to use it at night and you want to fall asleep to cool air. Shut it off 2 hours after you fall asleep. You're not overly worried about it. Save some power. You can do it that way. It'll shut off in the middle of the night. Works very well for that. Mrs. P and I tried it out. Not a problem. So, but I mean, literally, this is it. You've got 4 buttons up top. I mean, for your screen, for setting the timer, for setting the thermostat, for changing it from Fahrenheit to Celsius, and then a rotating dial. Literally, guys, this thing will take you 2 minutes to figure out how to use. It's pretty simple. Okay. But that is the overview on this. I really like this. I think this is a great idea for an SHTF cooling, especially if you're somewhere that gets very hot. Talking to you, Texas, Arizona, you guys, all right? But even for the rest of us, you know, where we get 90 some odd degrees and high humidity, okay, here's my solution now for the summertime. It is not the quietest unit, I will tell you this, all right? So if you are looking for absolute stealth, you're not going to get it. It runs at about 65 decibels. All right, so it's pretty similar to a regular window air conditioner, but there's not a whole lot you can do about that. You're running a fan and a condenser, so you're going to have some noise. If you're looking for absolute silence, not going to be a good idea. If you're looking for cooling yourself off, putting it in an indoor room where somebody can't hear it from the outside, works perfect. You don't have to have a window to use this. That's why I like it better than a window unit AC. Okay, I can put this centralized so nobody can hear it outside, and then I'm keeping up my OPSEC. So, as per normal, we are going to be giving one of these away. We will do this on Saturday night's live stream. Okay, it will be as usual. Comment on this video and this video only with the state in which you live. Contiguous 48 again only, guys. I'm sorry, it ain't my rules. That's the way it's got to be. Okay. Must have your state in there. Must be in the primary comment. Okay. If you're going to make more than one comment on the video, make sure your state's in it both times. Okay. Because if the comment doesn't have the state in, it's not a valid entry. All right. If you're in Sweden, it's not a valid entry. If you don't show up to the live stream on Saturday, you don't win, okay? If you are not a subscriber to the channel, it is not a valid entry, okay? This is what it takes to win this. The retail value on this is $1,499. Elliot has done a few things for us. He has given us a coupon code for $200 off. So if you want one now, we're talking $1,299 off. But in case you haven't got a generator, and like I told you before about I wouldn't recommend the battery, I'd recommend a generator. He's put together a couple of packages for us, special bundles for subscribers only. One with the Delta Max, for you get the AC unit, the Wave here, and a Delta Max for $26.99 minus $200, $24.99. Or you could get the, and I got to go look this up here real quick just so I quote it correctly. Or you can get the AC and the Delta Pro, the big one, okay, for $42.99 minus $200, so $4,099. Yes, I know it's not cheap, but here's a way to solve your heat problems, and if you get the bundle, solve your electric problems at the same time. Like I said, we are going to be giving one of these away. What I would ask everybody, for those of you guys who are on Instagram, and I'll put this link below as well, plus the coupon code, plus the links to the generator and all, please join Wellbot's Instagram. They are trying to build their Instagram presence, and like I said, for all that Elliot's done for us, you know, the least we can do is show a little bit of support. And if you've won anything or if you've bought anything, leave an Instagram post up there and, you know, show your appreciation that way as well. So there is the EcoFlow Wave. How about that one for it? There you go, guys. Enjoy the rest of the day. Pinball out.